Oh, shit. It works. Oh, I gotta figure out a transition out of that. I think a better loop. Fourth day in a row. Still fucking here. Yeah, thank you again to everyone who came through yesterday. A lot of fun talking about Ari's site. If you didn't have a chance to come through yesterday, definitely feel free to ask about that one. I think it's still pretty relevant. I didn't really get through everything, so I was busy giving like meandering answers to all sorts of things. Let's see. I gotta make sure like all my audio is working properly. Gotta get the ambient shit so I don't sound like an idiot too much. There's at least something breaking the silence. If my things seem to be working. So again, if you're new to this, it's kind of rough around the edges right now, but getting better. Reska, what's going on? Thank you for coming through. Yeah, I don't really have a plan for this one. I don't know if I said that already. It's kind of where I'm at, losing track of things. Kind of an early start, working on a project. Yeah, I figured there's a lot of stuff I can kind of dive into with my own stuff. I was thinking about like 3D, but that's more of a struggle still. That might be painful for people to watch still. I'm just kind of poking around. There's always the website, but I feel like that's kind of same shit, different day. There's font updates I want to do. I do font stuff. Stream Deck icons. There's always photos. That's not designed, but kind of torn. I feel like there's so much I have to do, and there's so yesterday in the stream kind of had a back and forth talking about a Discord channel and how that might be something to kind of have incorporated with this, kind of piggybacking off the no ISO sort of curation and collaboration component that I haven't really gotten into, but that could be a good first step. And always, I'm just going to shamelessly plug the old playlist, which I would be playing right now if I didn't get immediately flagged for DMCA. Like, I think one of the times I played, I don't even know, I played like 30 seconds of the song and it was just like, it flagged it. And so I had to like either mute the audio for that section or just like mute all audio. The problem is it was talking over it, so it was just like mid-conversation, it just would just cut things out. So yeah, I'm trying to think where to go. Let's see. Yeah, I know it's kind of underwhelming. I've been thinking about, I have to redo all of my like social banners. It's because they've all been neglected, and there's like old branding on some of them. There's all like the YouTube frames I need to get into. I'm just going through like my originals. I have like collaborations and originals, and I just see like everything I've been trying to do, and they're all like half to 3/4 done. Let's see, 5 title cards. 2 thumbnails. Social templates. I'll just start with this. I realize just saying this doesn't help. So I'll probably have to redo all these window broadcasting in Streamlabs, so bear with me for a second. Sketch. Okay. So for me and like all the different platforms, I just created a sketch file like with all the different sizes, so I could try and have some consistency across the board. It's all manageable in one sort of file, and so I should probably pull up my master brand file. It also needs updating, so I could do that. Like, I'll just keep being productive on shit that I've kind of been putting off, but I've been wanting to do. So if there's anything else you want me to dive into, like, or have questions, you know, I don't know the best way to think in these times. Like, I'm trying to wean off of like having an agenda and just doing whatever to like having dialogue and answering questions or whatever. Or if no one has questions and no one shows up, then I'll just kind of talk to myself and just go about my business. So I'm trying to find like my master brand templates. There we go. So I was having issues yesterday on the stream with like Streamlabs wasn't updating all of like the windows for me to broadcast. So I'd open something up in Sketch and it wouldn't show up, but it looks like it's cooperating today. That's good. So I have these different pages for symbols. I need to kind of expand upon this. This sort of distorted logo concept I don't think is really sticking around very much. I had a business card idea that I kind of liked for it. Kind of abstracting it a little bit, but I don't know. It was like more when I was into water photography, and the whole idea was like a horizon line. And there's like that distortion along the horizon line, so the top would kind of like, it's like you stick a pencil in a clear glass of water, it just looks like it just fucking warps. That was the thinking behind this. And I need, like, the problem is I made it and I didn't make it very big. And I can't remember, I did something wrong. It's like I didn't center it, yeah. Like ideally I would have centered this over this. Ideally I would have broken them out into separate pieces. I want to see if I have. One thing I just learned, like if you use Spotlight a lot, like I do, if you command click on something or hold command while you click on anything in the results, it'll show like the folder structure. I think if you double click, it'll then open it up in Finder versus just like Spotlight default interaction is just opening up whatever the fuck you click on, which is kind of annoying, but usually helpful, sometimes really annoying, at least for me. I don't know, I just want to like know where things are, because I'll just search for like a file knowing that's like the one file I know that's in there, but I'm looking for something else in that file, or that folder. That's just kind of how my brain works. So I'm trying to find this. Like everything's so fragmented still. It was moving at like 1,000,000 miles an hour just trying to get shit done. So right now it's like you're not missing anything. I am just looking through my folder structure right now, and or the lack thereof. JW.S brand. So I have like my signatures in one place, my logos. Did do it. I'm gonna open up Photoshop. I don't know what's gonna happen. Sometimes Photoshop plays nice. I mean, I did it fairly big for a logo. It's like 1,000 by 1,000. Let's see if I can get Photoshop. That's good. Oh, I guess it makes it bigger on here, but it doesn't show you any of the other panels unless I do desktop streaming. Which is really strange. I don't think there's a setting for it. Show windows of empty names. Oh, maybe that was why it wasn't showing up yesterday. I remember having that problem before, yeah, but that's not going to help us right now. But yeah, like yeah, it sucks. I really don't want to do desktop streaming. Why is there V1, V2? So this is the original. Oh, it's weird. Huh. I'm just trying to like deconstruct how I did this. There's a lot of just like random folders in here. I know I did. I think I did wind. I just kept doing like blast wind with a feathered marquee, and that's how I got this, and then I offset it. But so I don't know if that like makes any sense for a brand anymore. I think what does make more sense is the what's it called? Like kind of like the glow version that I have. I use that all the time, and I always have to redo it, and it's really dumb. I should pull it from here. Like you can see, like this is some of the stuff that's on the website. These are all. Oh, you can't see that. Part-time streamer here. So this is like the library of like all the design elements that it's like a small list. I made a vector version of this. I can't find it. Yeah, the importance of like organization is really important. Let me be a cautionary tale. Let me go into this other document. I think I remade this so I can pull this in. This will be obvious in 1 second. These are so small. 32, yeah, so those are favicons, whatever they're called. So this is what is this? Scale. Not updating anymore? Let's do 400. Let's add a background. Don't include an export. Dark gray. Yeah, so this is the one. It's just a couple. The scale really messed with this. So it's kind of bad that I'm doing this in Sketch. I mean, it's really not the most capable when it comes to what's it called? Comes to doing these kinds of effects, but it's something that if I like refine it later, if I keep adding layers, like I could add in layers of like Photoshop exports to kind kind of add to the depth of this, because a lot of them have the grain. This was initially done in DaVinci Resolve when it had like the halation going on around it. I don't know. Like I don't think I want to go down that route again. That's slightly excessive. If I can keep things within Sketch, for like the bulk of what I need, that should be fine. Like most of the applications, it isn't high res. It was like the thumbnail for the live stream today was that was, what's it called? That was from Resolve, but that wasn't quite it, if I'm being honest. Like the grain applied to it was not great. Text is too blurry, so I'm at 100%. I don't really know if 0.5 really does anything. Oh, why is that? Go up. So this will be like the softer glow on the outside. Probably reduce opacity. This will be like the primary. Oh, it's at 50, not 55. Okay, that's why. Makes sense. So I was trying to do opacity before I moved off of Gaussian blur, so that's why things went sideways. I don't know. I need to test this to see. I don't know what this logo and padding nonsense is. Logo, projection. And ideally, like if I saw myself going between, like wanting to substitute these out, I would keep the canvas the same. You know, if you know, what's it called? Sketch. That's how you can substitute things and how you can, like, you don't have to move it. Like if you have, like if you add a symbol at one size and you substitute it for a symbol of a different size, like just strap in. Like I have no idea what's gonna happen. It tries to reposition everything, and I guess you can do different relationships and set layouts, but I don't ever do that. So that's kind of a shit show whenever I do it. So try not to. Let's see. Well, it's not great, but I want to see. So if I go in here and I insert symbols, master, logo, did I not save? Master, logo. Oh. Logo and padding. No, it's logo. Unless there's something they updated. Wait, logo simple, is that even showing up? Unless I have multiple. Master, logo, projection. Wow, that's pretty slow. Okay, so I mean it does work. I probably want to do a large, medium, and small because yeah, there's a problem. I don't know if there's different resizing pinned edges, fixed size. Wait. Yeah, they have this resizing option, but I don't really, if I'm being entirely honest, understand it. But at least like the one thing I wasn't sure about was like how the blend mode was going to work within within here. So I have all these glows, but then I have like a dark shape on multiply with a little bit less. So if I take this off, you can see like all the glows are just kind of adding up, and it's not really letting the shape come through. So kind of just have to knock it out a little bit. So I'll probably make this large. In reality, I should have been smart and just, well, I can. This is like tiny. So call it tiny. What I should do is do, so if you do slashes in the name, no sketch. That's how it organizes things. So this is 100%. I don't know if I'd even call that tiny, I just call it small. I don't know. How wide? 37.5. That's always good on the half pixel. Yeah, the scale of this is wrong. Something I want to see actually. If I could get the halation to work in Sketch. If I copy, what is this? This is the main panel. Copy paste. Oh, this is within the combined shape, that's why. Dark. It can be on top, that should be okay. No fill. Shadows, let's go red. Made. Okay, maybe I need to do border red. 2 pixels, do 1 pixel, lower the opacity. Oh, get it. Blur this fucking thing. A kind of halation. 1. Yeah, it's like 20% red. I don't get it there. It's almost too saturated for my liking, but at 100%. I'd do like blue halation or something. Oh, there's an echo in my voice. Thank you for letting me know, Benjamin. I thought I had heard that before. Let me try and... Is this any better? Weird that that would happen. Yeah, hopefully that's better. I heard it kind of come and go, and like I listened to a little bit of the last stream, kind of check pro levels and stuff like that. But um, yeah, hopefully it's not bad. Let me know. Like if it's still bad, I can try and like I don't know. I don't know if I can change audio inputs midstream, but I'll definitely try. This. That's fine on your side. Sweet. Thank you, Dusan. Yeah, I never know. Like, yeah, it's not a great mic. I'll be the first to admit, like, I need to invest in a proper mic. Right now, I'm using there's like a Logitech camera. I can try. Let me see if I can change it to my headphone mic. Audio. Is that making a lot of weird noises? Because sometimes, like, I don't know, it's something with Bluetooth and these headphones. Like, sometimes as a mic, if I'm doing screen recordings, it just goes nuts. I don't know why. So I'm sorry if that was really loud or fucking crazy. Um, my apologies. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for letting me know quickly. I probably would have carried on because I don't hear it. There's no like monitor or anything of like what is actually coming through. Um, so yeah, thank you. Appreciate the input. Perfect now. Sometimes just switching audio inputs. I don't know. It's like the old like just restart and somehow that fixes things. I don't really know. But glad it's better. Yeah, if you guys have any questions or anything, feel free to send them over. Otherwise, I'll probably just keep going with these kind of menial tasks. Should have been, I don't know, like doing sort of like Photoshop style stuff in Sketch. Like it kind of can, but it's not the best. Yeah, don't feel obligated to like. I'm not like, hey, like, give me a request. Like, fucking hand it over. Like, yeah, you know, that's all good. Like, I'm still trying to figure out personally, like, how I manage, like, what I do. How do I stay productive? And yeah, 150. Love to see it. Love to see it. Should probably add a blend mode on this too. Screen. Why is the color not? Oh, the whole thing's in the screen. Normal. let's see. Copy the style. Paste. Ugh. That ain't it. What? That blur's too heavy. Don't want to disturb the flow, but you can talk about typography, resources, your background area, etc. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to touch on any of that. If there's anything specifically that comes to mind. I mean, typography. Yeah, I mean, all this like font work I've been doing for myself is like, I just don't know if I'm the one to talk about that just yet. Mostly because like I'm winging it entirely. I do want to get back into it. I've got like a couple things I want to do. Maybe after I do this, I'll just jump into the font and start working on some updates. There's some couple characters that are kind of bothering me a little bit. See if I can get that in a decent spot. Let's see, 1.5. Saturation's a little high. Is this 2? Yeah, blue halation. Why not? I should do it for the type, but I don't think I'm going to. I'm not going to keep the canvases the same size. So I'll just organize these. I'll probably come up with like a medium size. And my sort of process for this is, ideally, I've been really bad about it, is to go through, as I'm designing through all my different touch points of like, update, to like circle back and drop it into the master file. Because I have a master file for like my brand, I have a master file for Instagram, I have a master file for, I have one for Behance, but my Behance stuff is like, it's like too try hard and too kind of sweaty, if I'm being honest. Like it's just all this like heavy-handed design that just doesn't, I don't know. And it's like old edits, so I'm not really crazy about it to start with. But yeah. Got the projection in here. I guess I had a reason for logo and padding. But this red is old. I brightened it, yeah. Yeah, and like this should be like literally everything. This should be my source of truth, and I'll probably get better about it. I never did kind of make good on updating this. Scale 50%. So scale keeps it intact. This does not. Like the two type layers just start separating. That's not. Oh, you can't even see this. Yep. Nope. Nope. There we go. I gotta remember. See, part-time streamer. Yeah, so if I like scale these symbols, the type layers just lose their alignment. I want to believe that there's a way to lock it and like pin certain things. Yeah, pin to edge. Is this gonna work? No, that's not. I don't know what that does. So if I do it that way, or if I scale, it seems fine. Finish. What's this? Yeah, it is interesting that yeah, the scale and like the free transform are so different in Sketch. But part of the benefit for this is like if I have it all ladder back to this master library, like that like copyright date, if I just change it once, theoretically it should do it everywhere. I'll have to re-export all this stuff, but it's not terrible. So if I insert symbols, master, logo, projection, tiny. Yeah, that's not. That's not it. I don't think that's it either. This is where I need the middle size, or I can go big and then scale down. But then some of like the blurs and how it's supposed to scale everything proportionately, but it doesn't seem like it does. Yeah, because this looks too sharp on the inside. Like it seems like some of it's okay, but it doesn't seem like blur or scaling this is a great option. If I want just like very controlled, yeah, very controlled sort of effects, which to be fair, Sketch really isn't made for that. So I don't think that they're planning for all these different like layered effects and I don't know. Romain, what's the software please? So this is Sketch. This is what I do like the bulk of my work in. I do a lot of like, I don't know, if I need to be more expressive, I'll go into Photoshop. If I'm doing like microsites and stuff like that, or if I need to do more like photorealistic stuff, there's like all the mock-ups that I've done in the past. That, you know, there's nothing you can do with anything else. Or you can't like use a different software that I know of. I think there's, I can't remember the name. There's one competitor that's supposedly coming out. I think I downloaded it at some point. Long story short, it wasn't that good. From what I can tell, like the processing wasn't, it was a bit too much. Sorry, just getting some project emails. Yeah, maybe Figma. I've seen like, so I like, apparently I didn't really do the math on how crazy this is. Because he sent it to me before he posted it. Because I was like, I think I did a post about like trying to do some like photorealistic, but like more what you would equate to like Photoshop type styling. I was doing in Sketch, and he was like, he asked if it was Figma. Nope, that's not. So that's one of the templates. I don't know why that's being shown right now. That's in Photoshop. I can go through that if that's at all valuable. Where's Chrome? Why is it? So it's doing the same thing again, where Chrome, like, Streamlabs isn't showing up or showing any of the windows that I want it to. Like I'm looking right at the window. Let's try one of these. Chrome. Yeah, so I can put the link in the chat. There you go. Of like how he built this in Figma. Like Aaron Strather is just a madman. I don't think this is how you're supposed to use, or how they envisioned using Figma, but There you go. So if you really want to push things, and I don't know what the benefit was, I didn't get around to asking him. I think you can export it as code? I don't know. But it's pretty wild. And like, I don't know if this is, yeah, Figma from Photoshop. So that's the ambition right there. Rendered materials being one of the main contributors. The champion card frame. Yeah, pretty wild. Do you ever do effects as assets in Photoshop to import into Sketch? Definitely. Yeah, there's just some things like I'm trying to kind of hack into it with some of the things I'm doing in the library right now, or like with adding those kind of blurred edges, adding like the overall blur, doing multiple layers, getting into blend modes. I think you start running into a wall pretty quick. Let's see. Like I do a lot of asset generation in Photoshop, predominantly. Just trying to find the window now. It's like a guessing game on like which scene will have which windows. No, it's not in this one. Oh, it is in this one. So I think I accidentally had this up. So this is all, oh, it doesn't show any of my windows. All right, let me do, desktop browsing. Move a couple things. Oh. Sorry, I should really have this stuff figured out beforehand. Here, going, nope, not that. Fat fingers can't hit the right buttons. But yeah, so like for these mock-ups, like a lot of like the grain layers, atmospherics, that sort of stuff, like I know I'll want to pull it into here and really manipulate it. I don't know, I cut my teeth early doing a lot of asset generation through compositing. So yeah, like if you get down to the nuts and bolts of this thing, it's basically all built on shapes. So that's some of the lighting. So if I get rid of some of the atmospherics, the phone itself, I don't know where this is gonna go. So I made the phone. So these are all just like, they're all just vector shapes with different bevels and embosses. The phone base, the shadows, can't spell. But yeah, and just getting in with the Wacom, however you want to say it, tablet, doing a lot of painting. So this is like with the asset generation in Photoshop, like if you want to work this into your workflow, I don't think there's any way around it. And so what I could do theoretically in Sketch is I could import the phone base layer and then import the atmospherics on top of it in different, like, I could do the screen gradient on top with the scratches on like one blend mode, and then have different lighting effects on the other. Because there's just stuff like this that you just can't, you can't really, can't get it anywhere close in any other software. I'm gonna see if I can get it something. No, whatever. One of these. Yeah, let's do this. It's the least offensive right now. You can see like just I don't know. I like layering all this stuff on, different effects. And just if you want to create it in Sketch, just good luck. So I tried dumping Photoshop forever, and I just could never get around to doing it. There's too much of a need if you want to generate your own stuff, which I do. But now I'm getting into 3D, or trying to. So I have this one. I have all these. These are all like Photoshop mock-ups. Working on a t-shirt one. Where's the... I guess it's this one. Yeah, it's this one. So this one, it's actually using the like product image of a XDR display, but everything else in here is shapes and lighting. But I'm trying to get into 3D. Right now it's Blender, because it's free. And I tried C4D before, and I just couldn't make it work in my head. I'm still having a tough go of like manipulating things properly and getting all the keyboard shortcuts down. So it's getting there. Like this was day one sort of thing, where I just basically tried to like, let's see, like get something. It's not gonna work, is it? So, I mean, it wasn't great. Like I tried to create the scene with like a window and the light coming in through there. It is kind of funny because there was like a couple, it is reversed, just kind of odd. The one on the right's actually realistic to the lighting in my room, which this was supposed to be, but for some reason I flipped it. I can't remember why. But just not having to think about all these different like bits of lighting underneath shadows, the cast shadows, how like the light source affects that. Like I just don't have to think about it. I think my biggest thing is wrapping my head around modeling at this point. I get anxiety when it comes to like how like when you modify the geometry, there's no going back. From what I can tell, I could be wrong, but everything seems like if you want to bevel an edge, like you're beveling that edge, like you're changing the geometry of it. It's not like Photoshop or Sketch where you round the corners, you can always go back and modify. And I think I've been told, yeah, I was told like, was it Redshift and Houdini is a way, I can't remember the word, but I believe you can like modify. I could be wrong. But like that little thing is such a big hang up for me because I'm learning and I'm building these models, and I wonder if I just fire up Blender. I don't know what's gonna happen when streaming Blender, but I only live once. And I already like I touched this. I did this like a week or so ago. But like all the different rotations, I'm trying to figure out how to do like the backside pattern of everything. I'm trying to understand organization, all the different, what's it called? Is there transforms? Like booleans, like bevels, all that kind of shit. I can't remember the name for it. I did like the Blender, I did the Blender, was it Blender Guru? His little donut thing. Yeah, it helps for sure, but I still like, I'm just too impatient. But then being able to do different things with like camera, lighting, like I don't have to, why is this so strange? This happens from time to time where I just don't understand what, oh, I went on the other side of the wall, that's why. Couldn't tell. Yeah, I mean, some of it seems weird. And I think there's a lot of camera settings I need to learn. Um, but yeah, to me, the flexibility of being able to create these different layouts, like just put in the legwork, make the geometry, make the scene, and then go back and kind of go nuts. Um, Applying textures and UV maps is still over my head, but yeah. For one day, like I'm pretty happy with what I was able to do. Um, I want to kind of just chip away at this as like a project that I don't know. It's a good testing ground. Plus, it serves as like a better representation of um, like all my assets, so I can do like the screensaver updates. I don't know if it's as easy as just modifying different textures for the screen, but yeah, I've got a lot to learn. Is kind of the short of it. What machine do you have? Is this using M1 MacBook? So this is a 2019 Mac Pro. Um, so it does pretty well with this stuff, thankfully. Some of this like rendering, I don't know how it's going to do with more complex geometry, but yeah, it does pretty well. I'm curious. Oh, there's numbers I've never seen. So my Stream Deck has a what's it called? Like a CPU percentage, and I've never seen it above like 10%. Outside of now, like when it's doing those different cycles, it's at like 90%, which is crazy. You. Yeah, it doesn't help Streamlabs already at 65%. Let's go ahead and yeah, Blender just going hard. Oh yeah, there you go. Putting it to work. And I had no ambitions of getting into 3D, but I don't know. I see it being a bigger thing going forward. But it's like there's so many things I want to get my hands dirty with. So, um, why are you? I should probably turn off all this. Be nicer to my computer. I get rid of the room. Yeah, so these guys. Oh. Oh. Shit. GY. Yeah, so like trying to create like these cutouts, like make arrays that then will what is it? Not do Boolean? Doesn't. For some reason it doesn't work. But yeah, I'm sure there's a very obvious mistake I'm making, but yeah, we'll see. VR, AR, and NFTs. Yeah, pretty much, man. Yeah, I wish NFTs were more. I don't know. Seems like they're kind of flaming out at this point. Um, Seems like the market was kind of flooded with different NFTs. Yeah, I could make some clouds and that kind of stuff and sell it. I don't know. I legitimately didn't think there was something about the NFT process, like or something about like 3D work that was how NFTs were generated before I knew anything about it. Just because I'd go on these sites and I just see like such similar things, but clearly not the case. But yeah, it'd be nice. Don't get me wrong. Like I definitely don't want to dog NFTs. What's going on? Boy, here. Camera. Oh, get out of here. I can't even with the camera right now. Oh, the other nice thing is like this is all to scale. Like I just took measurements. I found like tech specs online and found measurements. So this is mathematically correct, which is fun. Because the other one's like it's based off of some proper sizing, but it's eyeballed to shit. Like scale's not right, and lighting in general. I'm going off of guesses, but I you know I wasn't too mad about. Like I did multiple takes at the shadows underneath here, and the render test came back like pretty close to what I had. So I'm not. Although through here it definitely fell off, and this was all wrong. So yeah, don't pay too close attention. Where am I going, Blender? Yeah, I'll probably save you all from me struggling in Blender for right now. Another day. Oh, so this is still up. But I'm off desktop stream, which is good. I also have a 2019 MacBook with the Intel i7, and it even blows up just from testing in Xcode. Loving these streams, by the way. Thanks, Daniel. Appreciate it, man. And yeah, sorry to hear about your 2019 Mac Pro. I mean, I have one that, like, I guess because I did so much work on battery, like I tried doing a lot of Lightroom stuff. Lightroom, like, if you're on a laptop, Godspeed, it's about ready to take off. Photoshop, all of those. Yeah, like it was comically loud, like how loud the laptop was. Because until I got the Mac Pro, that was like, I had that hooked up to one of the Thunderbolt displays, and that was my rig for like 2-3 years, and it was just like round the clock working. So I actually had to replace the battery because it wouldn't last longer than about 20 minutes. Then it got to a point where it wouldn't even work unless it was plugged in. So I had to ship that off. But yeah, like I think it's i7. I don't know what this has. It's i9. Is i9 is that a thing? Oh, it's Intel Xenon W. I just know I'm sad that the like in single core processing, like the M1s are pretty close to my Mac Pro. Like it's not there, and this my machine will dust it in multi-core from what I understand, but I don't know. Kind of the joke's on me. Like not a lot of software properly optimizes for multi-core processing as much as they could. So the actual difference isn't that great from what I've come to understand. So it's always fun. Where? So stream apparently is showing a tab that's not open anymore. I don't know how it's doing that. And like I don't know if it's like too schizophrenic for me to just like say fuck it with this sort of like social update. No, it's not that tab. Like this is kind of mundane. I think the problem is like if you look at what's on there right now, especially like the YouTube channel, it's just it's like the red version of the split logo I was looking at. It was more or less master logo, distorted red. This on like a screen blend mode, I think. Something along these lines. Lighten. Yeah, and that's kind of just not my brand. I think there was a moment where I thought it was, but it's definitely not. I think there's a spot for the red, I just don't know where. But I think I'm a very black and white brand at the end of the day. Mostly because if I want to be a brand that does collaborations, I want to be able to peacefully coexist with anyone's brand. And if I start asserting my own personal brand too much, then that's kind of like, I don't know what's going to happen. So, yeah, that's why I'll probably forever be just black and white. I do need to update these. This Behance. Just don't. Not really the Behance banner size. But I do wonder if like putting these sort of template files up for download would be helpful for anyone who's trying to like all these like little tools I do to like manage my brand. I believe these are based on like the actual requirements, because that's been part of the other problem is like I would go to update it and then I would never know like, is this the right size? What is the right size? And they don't always tell you. Like I think someone like YouTube tells you. I don't know if Behance tells you like the optimal size, and why I have two different cover sizes. And so what I really should do also, let's go ahead and make this the original size. Okay. So I was actually doing this with the project I'm working on right now. It's a strange size. So this will be like image. So I will go ahead and my sketch updating, create a symbol. And so what I can do now, why is this not in a, what? This is interesting. What? Huh. Yeah. Should be 3600 by 24. That makes more sense. Like why this isn't here is a little strange. But now what I can do is insert symbols, this document image. So now I can get rid of all these. Copy, delete that, paste it, move it to the back, expand out to the canvas size, paste it here, get rid of this. Oh, that's the old one, get rid of that. That's the image size. So this will keep me from like stacking up random images. Let me see something fast. So this is like the boring stuff. Like if I can help people not have to do this, probably not a bad thing. If anyone wants to do this kind of shit. Of course, I would extract all my personal branding stuff, but if anyone wants that anyways. Yeah, so the idea being I have this symbol, I have this image, so if I go, say, let's find a potential alternative. I never know what to put here to represent myself. But let's say, is that? So I should delete that, but I think this is the image I actually want. But now, if I go through, they're all updated. And I can move them about however I want to. And then see the pitfalls of, like, okay, maybe this isn't the best for this. It's not bad, but, and if I know I can go up to 2400 is like, I'm not doing any upsizing at this point. But maybe I'm able to like pull some texture. That's where I'm torn. That's where I used to have like a texture. I think it works. I think it works the best for these sort of things across all touch points, but yeah. I wonder if I can do that. Kind of interesting. Applying tints, yeah, I don't want to do that. But yeah, so this is like, this is like a combination of having the master as an external document and still pulling from that, but then having local, because having like those symbols in the master library is kind of irrelevant, but having them local here is something that's I think helpful. So this, yeah. I wish there was an original size, or if you could like reset overrides or bit symbol. No, it's not showing that. Oh, there is. Set symbol to original size. That's interesting. So I might make this one of my macros for, what's it called? Like the Stream Deck pack. So I'll probably do some desktop streaming for a second. Okay, so if I do, nope, bigger Stream Deck. So if I have my Sketch, so this is the configuration that, so whenever I open up Sketch, this is what shows up. So these are my base tools. I have some folders along the top level. So I have a symbols one. So what I need to do is go into the keyboard, shortcuts, app shortcuts. So Sketch, you can see like all these ones that I specified, like all these macros, all this Stream Deck's really doing is doing like a series of key commands. So if I can establish a new shortcut here, oh, keyboard's low, then I should be able to kind of map it. So I have that, what was it? Set symbol to original size. So you got to have it like exactly the same. Set the symbol to original size. I start mashing just like the modifiers. Like I'll do Command, Option, Control, Shift, O for original. Add. No. Why is that here? That's a bummer. Sketch. In the Sketch app, yeah. Set to original size. Add. So I don't think I have any conflictions in Sketch. So then I'll go to my Stream Deck configuration. I will add a, I think it's just a regular old action. Random action. See that? Or no, it's just a hotkey, excuse me. So this is, what is this? Oh, so I can break from original. Terrible icon. I can modify the original, or I can create a new one. So this is 2 actions. Command Y is to create, and then I have it press return. So whatever my layer is named, that's what the symbol will be called. So with this one, I want to do hotkeys for Command Option Shift Control Shift O, and for now set like to original size. So now I have this over here. I've done this properly. So I have the tiny one, and what I'm going to do on the Stream Deck is I'm going to basically push that button and it should reset it if I'm in stream, which it's not doing. Why not? Set symbol to original size. I must have not typed that in correctly. Yep, set symbol original size. Now it should work. There you go. So sometimes like with these, like this is where I think it'll be more relevant is like with this image, if I want to just like find out what the original size is, like, because it doesn't give you the options. Like if you do, if you have just images that are non-symbols, it'll tell you like, okay, set to original size. I think if I go in here, yeah, it has the original size button, but for some reason it doesn't have that same option when it comes to symbols. I think the idea being that you're not doing a lot of scaling of symbols, but for images, I think it's kind of nice. So now with this, I can just go set original size, and like I'm back to 100%, which I think is kind of nice. So that's basically how I'm creating my Stream Deck pack. I know I've talked about it, but I don't think I've really gotten into the nuts and bolts of it. I think I maybe did once a while ago. But it's still super useful, and like this is part of the testing and finding out like all these things that I want to do with it. This one actually doesn't work anymore. Make grid. So they must have changed the name. Common ligatures. Oh, it's make grid ... Now it's just make grid. So if I want to click this Stream Deck, I'm just going to push this little guy in the application, make grid. Then I have a grid of them, which is super helpful with like symbols, because then immediately like you just go through and just do whatever. I mean, this one's been super helpful. This one of like rounding off, round to pixel has been super helpful. Convert to outlines. This ligature one like doesn't work, and it kills me softly. Because this ligature actually is the one that causes a lot of problems in my font, which I was thinking about doing and like diving into and doing some modifications to. But yeah, I don't know if that's... I could do that. Again, questions, comments, whatever. If you want feedback on anything too, I don't know if I ever throw that out there too. Like, I'm happy to take a look at things and provide feedback if at all helpful. And again, I'm not doing this because I think I'll give the best feedback or anything like that, but just another set of eyes. Why not? And I don't know if 12 years makes me old, but I can still see for now. I want to figure out ligatures. Oh, this chair. it's in text, open, okay. Typography. These are my type specs, which have been largely useless. So if you're thinking about doing this for yourself, it seems nice in theory, but I can tell you it is just a colossal pain in the ass. If you ever want to modify it, and then if you actually want to apply it, like these main styles, whatever I had selected before, like they're not even like update. No. Reset style. So that's what it originally is. So I've like gone through and modified the masters, but I haven't hit apply basically. So part of the problem being like where this is being applied, it's all different. And I'm thinking immediately of like my Instagram stories and stuff like that. Like I tried sticking to these as like a case study for, hey, like be consistent. Like your headlines here are gonna look like your headlines here, and they should, but it's kind of, it's a bit looser than that, I would say. But yeah, I know it'll break all of my layouts, and I'll have to go through and like realign text to certain spots. Some like text masking gets entirely broken. It's really frustrating that you can't just choose which to inherit. Like you can't override characteristics of different things, like type alignment within a type box. Like that will get overwritten no matter what. As far as I know, unless they change things. I can, let's see if I pull this up. Insta, wait, that's not my, oh, base designs, yeah. So all of these, like for a while I was like, so I created a system of these. I went over probably over the deep end on this. So if I move this image to this one, you can see it's already updating it. I don't know why it's updating here, but it updates everywhere, symbols, and it's modifying off this background color. So if I just sample this, wait, where's the, this doesn't have a background color. Oh, this is, I don't know. No, this has it. This is the post color at a 30% opacity. So it was my attempt to systemize everything, and like depending on what the image was and if I wanted different things to say, I could just start picking and choosing these. I need to get back to it, but I don't know why it's not more practical. I think some of these things aren't bad. There's just a breakdown in the process somewhere. I can't remember. Yeah, there's lots. So like this stuff, all the alignment would go to from like text to the middle to all to the bottom, which isn't terrible there. It's more like stuff like this. I have to like fix all those. It's not bad, but like for the return on my time, I don't know if that's like the ideal usage of the type styles. So don't say. What is your type system based on? Golden ratio, or do you have just multiply by 2? I can't remember how I did this. 320, 240, 200. For a while I had like the whole like divisible by 8 mentality kind of baked into my head from working at Apple. That's a lot of their type specs are multiples of 8. That's got to be public knowledge. You can inspect their fonts and you'll see it all on their website. So I kind of had a thing for that. I used to be like even numbers. It'd be like 300, 200, 100, and then just do like multiple or like divisions of that. I believe I started there, and then as I started seeing how this was being applied and seeing where it was breaking, I didn't have any like hard and fast rules about it. Basically, I think it's like a lot of traditional um, kind of like branding type specs would have like there's a logic with how it cascades down, but for mine there wasn't. It wasn't always there. Um, so I know that's not the most satisfying. Yeah, some of these type styles like the line height's just crazy. 2836. Um, Not quite eights, but it's like fours. So like even with like eight, it's like if you break it down, like if you have to deviate from the eight, you like divide it in half at four. So 2836. I don't know why. Like I've always used to be of the belief of like rounding things to the zeros is how you get things precise. I think there's truth to that, and there's like a simplicity to it in terms of how you can just do the math really quickly on what the spacing and sizing should be and whether it's right. Um, but it kind of felt predictable at some points, so that's where it got dropped off. But yeah, nothing too strict. I don't have the other doc open that shows the applications, but yeah. So what I'd have to do is like if I wanted to update all of these, I'd have to go real wide, hide both of these, and then try and zoom in as much as I can. But even on like my display, I can't even see it. So I'd have to like go from here and just create this like really small select line across. And so I think, oh no. See, I just hit tab and I lost my selection. I do. So I think I have all the same. So then I would like go through and I'd modify. Oh, I just hit tab again, so they're gone. And all I'm trying to do is bring up this left panel. So it's become something where it's like a tool ideally that's there to help me, but it ends up slowing me down more than it's helping. I think it's like a good reference if I ever need like a source of truth, but for me it's kind of like each application's different. And I'm even finding that on my website, like some of the headers and H1s on one page are very different from page to page. I tried systemizing it. It just didn't work. A lot of it's because I'm trying to do like full width stuff, and so a lot of my type specs on the web are actually like based off of view width, which doesn't make its way into here. So if you're designing for web, like having pixel values, it's a great starting spot, but like as you start scaling, like I don't know, this is going between 80 and like 200. I don't really know. Oh, how are you coming back? Get out of here. I gotta update the stuff. But yeah, so it's nice in theory, I think. And maybe in more like traditional applications like print, I think this is great. I think it's a great exercise to understand like kind of starting points. And maybe it's just the way I work where I'm not able to hold on to these different like I don't know hard and fast rules when it comes to type styles, which I probably should be better. But like this is my brand, and I looked at it as a case study for doing branding for other people. But I'm just partially because what I've put out there has been interactive work, e-commerce, editorial, video. Like it's not my bread and butter, so I haven't really been too concerned about it. It's like I'm just doing it for my brand. So yeah, how it gets applied is not super important. Is it complicated to create an animated headline to your website? Like if you hover over with a cursor, it reacts like a liquid. The liquid part of it, I believe you're getting into WebGL. That's a lot of Or maybe it's 3JS, WebGL. No, I don't know what this is. That's not. Let's see. Gel distortion. You don't know. Yeah, I mean, people have used it in interesting ways. So I had this on one of my old sites. It was a photo site, and each transition was mapped to like a texture of that category. So if I had like an ocean category, it would transition. There would be like a hero image that would transition out, and it would be distorted in a way that was mapped to an image of that category, which I kind of liked. And I don't know. This was 2009. See if I can. Chrome browsing is going to do. Of course, Chrome browsing is Photoshop, so this all makes sense. Let's see. I'm just going to dig for a file real fast. Originals. And I don't know if it's really going to answer your question. It's just going to the old archives. This is from 2017. Oh, it actually worked. It was good. I clicked on Chrome browsing, that went to this. Yeah, the whole idea was like you had a surf section, and it would just like distort things out. And it's all based on like a black and white, gradient map, basically. So there's something in like the darks. It's like if you think about like a layer mask in Photoshop, like the darks are being applied in one direction, so the darks are hiding it in Photoshop by brush. So in this mask, that's basically what it is, and so that's hiding it. So it does the same thing, but it does it with you can animate parameters against it. So like the amplitude, I want to say that there's a what's it called? Let's go back to this. I feel like there's got to be a tool that lets you do it. I would kind of caution against it in some ways. I think like done properly, it can be really nice, but if it's like a cornerstone to like a design, like I would just be careful, because I think there's like people have done it. And the problem is that like a lot of people have done it poorly, is what I would say. In just a way of like, we don't know what to do, like we found this on the web, like let's just add water. And I'm definitely not saying that's what you do, but or what you're planning on doing, but I think some people have done it in a way that's doesn't really make sense. But like if it fits in with your theme, and like even if it doesn't, like don't listen to me. Like I'm so here you go. Here's like a mouse react. So there's like different ways you can create variants. So I think this kind of shit is like pretty rad in terms of like taking that concept of a displacement map and then going through and modifying. So like the fading speed, like let's change this to 0.5. So it's much more reactive. You can see it's like a little slower moving blob. 0.05. Well, that's what it initially was. I don't know. But like there's a lot of code pens that are pretty sweet. That are like, I don't know if you could leverage this code exactly. I believe that's the idea behind them. I've never tried, and maybe this is just JS. Yeah, maybe this isn't even WebGL. Maybe it's just JavaScript. Don't quote me on that. I could be very wrong. Check out Yuri Art Hugo for WebGL stuff. He's the master. I've never heard of. Let's check out Mr. Yuri. ARTYUKH. He's got YouTube. Stuff looks pretty rad. Yeah, some of these like creative developers just push code to all sorts of crazy areas. Oh, I think I've seen. Yeah, he's got an awards class. Yeah. I've seen this guy's stuff. It's wild. Like I don't even know what's possible. So use it properly. I mean, I don't think there's a proper way to do it. I think that I'm just getting into my own sort of personal thoughts on it. I think it was a lot of people used it as like I don't know what else to do sort of thing, so let me do this. But and that's not bad. I think like all design has some ornamentation with it, and what you do with it, like it's not my place to say at all. Like this is 1,000% personal opinion. Yeah, I think it's all like however you want to do it. Like if it's to your eye, like fucking go for it. I fully support that. So here, displacement maps. Yeah, learn WebGL. Apparently, this is how I came to understand it. Of like height maps, I guess. Thankfully, Ari's not here to hear me talk about this. He'd probably cry knowing I'm talking about WebGL leading people astray. But yeah, I mean, I think it's gotten to a point where it's just like there's so many different options of what you can do, and now you can combine different things. Oh, going to Reddit, who knows what's going to come up? Oh yes, they're referencing this. I mean, this kind of stuff, like I really like it. It's unquestionably beautiful what you can do with like computational power to apply effects. And I think like even just like playing devil's advocate to myself, it's like this is no different than adding like a fade out in a lot of ways, which is just that doesn't have to ladder up to a theme. This is just more apparent, which I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's like if you're gonna have a slider and you're gonna transition, like what's more interesting, like transitioning via like a WebGL distortion, or is it just a simple fade in, fade out? Like, can't. Huh. Yeah, and I caveat like my opinions are my opinions, and I never want to tell anyone what to do. I promise that's not what this stream is about. Yeah, actually, I haven't opened up Font Lab in ages. I want to do this. So I need to work on a new version. Ooh, what? Where is my font? Let's go back. Chrome browsing, that's probably not Chrome. Yeah, it's back on this. Let me just pull up font. Fonts. Regular. Close. Oh, Font Lab 7.2. I need to understand what that's all about. Let's see. How am I gonna do? Guess I could do desktop streaming. Font Lab is not there. Oh. So let's try this one. Nope, that's desktop. Let me go and come back. Sorry, I'm still figuring all this stuff out. I think if I had more of a plan, it might be better. You wouldn't have to wait all this downtime as I'm just messing with this stuff. I'm not. Here. Yeah, show windows with empty names is an option, and this has a name. I can only do one panel. That's so unfortunate. Yeah, that's my only option. That might not work. Well, actually, no, that's not right. Because this is the full view of Font Lab. You have all these like kerning pairings. It's been so long since I messed around in this, so I don't really know what's what. This kerning looks weird. Although the FG pairing is not typically what you're gonna see. What's going on, John? You've been streaming crazy lots lately? Yeah. I'm trying to, like, I made a commitment to, what was it? Sunday? Said I was gonna do it every day, so I mean, you know, I'm trying to make good on it. Whether that's a good or bad thing to be determined. I think it was just rad yesterday with a lot of more people coming through. I think you attach Ari's name to anything and it perks up a lot of people's attention. But yeah, like, I don't know. I got my work for today done, so I figured I can just kind of mess around, do whatever. Answer questions or just get into miscellaneous stuff I've been putting off and trying to figure out. But I'm by no means like a master of Font Lab. Yeah, I forgot about that. I think it's in the features somewhere. So features are basically ways you can add like coding to your font. And so I spent a lot of time diving into this of like what I would like to see for a lot of custom formatting of fonts. And it's just like a simple coding syntax. There's a lot more you can do, but I pretty much only did ligatures. That's all I felt comfortable with and really knew like what I wanted to do. But yeah. So this one right here has caused me a lot of pain. It works in headlines, but it doesn't work in like after testing it, I don't like it. Like there's so many times it shows up in small fonts. I can't remember what it is. It's something on Ari's site. I think it was about page. It was one of these, I thought, like one of his social links. Or it might have been, oh, I think it was like all over the world, and the TH used the ligatures, which is unfortunate. At that size, like this significant of a ligature at that size it's really kind of off-putting. So I don't know if I scrap it at this point. Yeah, I actually hadn't really thought about a good solution to that. getting rid of it. I think there's a reason people do it, or I need a different way of activating it. Because right now, ligatures, so I have substitute capital T, capital H by, and then I created a character called TH. So anytime you type something in that says T and an H, that will override. So I feel like it needs to be like a qualifying character. And the caveat to this is like when I start creating these like these, I don't know the best way to put it, like modifying characters, like it creates, it's good for offline use. Like it's almost like I need to create a web version and a desktop version, which again is going to be a lot. Because yeah, if I go to preview, wait, what? What's that? Doing horizontal scale. Size 36 point. 72.64. Why are my features running? So I need to hit run. Standalone lookup. I don't know what that's about. So this, it's not even doing it. Oh, what the hell? The nodal ligatures, no, this is running. There must be some major error. Oh, so you have to turn on open type features. I forgot about that. So if I have TH, it shows up, and you can see like the world. So around the world was something that showed up on Ari's, on his, like around 12 points. Which, I mean, it's okay, but it's not ideal. So if I create a qualifying character, which has typically been, so I almost want to move it to like a style alt instead of a ligature. So Unicode 220, this should be like Delta, which I don't remember how to make anymore. Yeah, Delta character. I forget what to type Delta character or symbol on a Mac. Option J. Close. So let's get rid of some of this stuff. So I have let's see if I can, where'd it go? So I have a style alt for 0. I forgot about some of these. The preview. If I do, let's make this bigger. If I do Delta 0, maybe I didn't do it for this one. I must not have. Okay, bad example. Delta 0, Alt 01. Okay. Alt T, do I have that? Alt T1. So if I want like a curved T, I should be able to, yeah, instead of like a harder T. Yeah, which, like if you have this on the web, it's gonna read terribly, because it's not gonna, like the SEO is not gonna unpack all these custom characters. So it's great for formatting in Sketch, Photoshop, any like local version, but it's not the best way to go about it for web. And so I really don't know the best way to do it in like an SEO compliant way to like activate all these style alts. Maybe I just need to specify alt text. That's correct. Doesn't have all that. Is this FU character? Is that still in here? Is that my dumb shit? Oh yeah. I remember the thinking, because you don't want to like accidentally activate these. So it's F, and then you just keep typing U until that shows up. I keep myself entertained, what can I say? Yeah, I still haven't solved the TH. So I'm gonna move that TH from a ligature to a style alt. Sub. And delete it. So if I do Unicode, so now instead of TH, well, I have to rerun it. I run my, so now TH doesn't do anything, but if I do delta TH, it'll do it. So at least this gives me the option to activate and deactivate ligatures. So that's at least fixed. But the thing is, like, this is just regular. I have to do it on bold, medium, light, and the black weight I haven't really figured out yet. So kind of a problem. I hope I don't have this LA. I should probably do the same for HT, if I'm being honest. And so what I do also is to track all these changes. I should have a features folder. Let's make a features folder. Let's do Z. So I do Z underscores my way of like making everything stays to the bottom. So I have a text doc. So I'll open this up, save it, and do 2.2. So now I have both. Because a lot of time it's like any sort of coding, like if you're gonna, I don't know. Like for me in Webflow, they have the backup, so I can always reference that. So if I just make a syntax error somewhere and like I just don't want to go through and find it, I can just copy and paste different blocks into the features, and I should be all right. So what I'll do is like I'll work on one way. I'll just go in here, copy, and then paste. I'll just do all, copy all, paste all. So it's always like a wholesale duplication into like a text form that I can pull from. First thing I came into the stream was getting the bird. Yeah, man, that's the vibes we're on right now. It's Wednesday, bro. What? F you. I'm childless as shit, man. I can't help it. There was another one I wanted to do. Like, I don't know if I should say it on the stream, but I'll probably just will. Who gives a fuck? It's not like it's that bad, but it's like if I want to build in security measures to my font, I just do like duplication, or I do ligatures, extensive ligatures that are like really offensive. Like, let's see, this might take a minute. This is the first one that came to mind. What's space? Is it just space? Let's see if this works. Ooh, does not work. Font feature ligature space. ligatures. So I think it's. Oh no, it is space. Oh, bracket right. What is this doing here? None? Still a problem. Sub. Space leader by asshole. Huh. I think I had a way of doing this. Space, copy, search that. No. Well, there's so many things you can do with convert an FI ligature back into F. You can specify context, I guess. There's so many things you can do that I just don't know about. Yeah, it just must not like the space character. What is the problem here? Oh. Wait, no. Should be able to do multiple word ligatures. Well, I'm clearly going way too far and spending way too much time on this. But the idea being is like, if I don't want my font pirated, I can just do what is it? Dumb shit. IFU. So someone just types thought leader, it comes up with a middle finger. I never want to even like talk about thought leaders, so that's kind of my like little way of doing it. There's workarounds in terms of like you can turn like open type features off and that's gone. It's just kind of like a subtle FU to anyone who starts pirating fonts, but I don't really think anyone wants this font to start with. So I'm a child. I know it. I've made peace with that a long time ago. I'm gonna keep that in there. Updated. But I do think I want to move the other ligature out. And again, like, as always, ask like non-related questions to what I'm doing. I'm just kind of doing whatever right now. However I can be helpful. HT. Copy. Oh, got it. That should be good. If I run it. So thought was the one I always tested it on. And then if I do delta th OUG delta HT, I have thought or thought. I don't know. It's kind of nice having the control. And if it only makes sense to me, that's fine. I'm kind of the only one who needs to get it. But for me, like doing all this formatting stuff and having to think about ligatures, and you can see like I've started bringing in different characters that I'll make. Like I know I want to talk about like shutter speed and some of the meta on my photos at some point. So I have a shutter speed. So I have a shutter character. So I think it's shutter. Yeah. So that way I can just type that in, I get the custom character, and I can just drop it into my layout. It's been particularly helpful, except for this little guy. Oh, that's not what I want. Is it not going to search? It's not. Registered. It's strange. Just got my smiley faces in here. So I've had to do a lot of like reformatting of the registered mark on the website. So anytime I have a registered, it's always like a separate type style with negative margins. It's a different size. It's really bad. Registered. So for some reason, like if I have screensaver, wow, too much. Okay. Like that placement feels really strange to me. So if I go in, here's my layers. I could add this. I have the R. This. Why can't I now do that? Oh, it's been so long. Bear with me. So this is my top height. Should be able to. So these fell out of alignment. What is this? Vertical flip. Why is it align to the middle? I actually don't like the alignment it needed. Okay, so at least this gets me the right ballpark, but I just don't like the size of this. Oh man, I can't remember how to do all this stuff. I think you have to do it by like percentages. probably not going to reflect well on me, my font design abilities. Let's apply that as well. And so this is where I just eyeball it. Like I don't lose sleep over like it not being perfect. So even that's better, but yeah, I gotta remember how I did the spacing on all this stuff. Oh, there's so many things I forgot about in terms of like, you can basically do the equivalent of symbols. So you create like an A, you can have the A symbol basically be leveraged across all the variants. So you make this A and it is applied to all of these, and I totally forget how to do that. So, not great. But I'm just gonna eyeball this again. Better or worse? That's a little tight. I think it's tight in general. I think it's too big still. I thought I could. I could have sworn there was a free transform tool, but I don't think there is. Hit metrics, kerning. Type hinting. Hinting's a big thing I need to fix. I don't know what matchmaker is. Oh man, this has been a minute. I want to scale this down, and I think there's a way to do it. Oh, it has to be. Oh man, it's been so long. So this is where I used to do all the modifications in Illustrator and then bring them in. But this is already getting to a better spot. I do want to mark this as red. Something I need to focus on. Yeah, I don't think I want to bore you guys with this. And I know I've kind of achieved absolutely nothing in this session, but that's kind of the reality sometimes. Yeah, I think this might be kind of a short one. I might dive into some other stuff and like get myself up to speed, unless there's any like explicit questions, comments. Let's see, I don't know what. Now we're back here. Oh, we're back here. And here. Really strange. There's multiple scenes with the same thing. I don't know what that is either. But yeah, it's a short stream. Not trying to just check boxes, but also want to be mindful of everyone's time. Like, I don't know if it's helpful to watch me struggle. I might at least update these banners. Okay, I'm gonna at least do the banners. I'll go for a little bit longer. I do need to grab a beer. Yeah, I'll be right back. I don't know which one to. I'll do the be right back, but I'm not going to put the music on. You guys won't be subjected to that. Yes. Imagery. Banners. Really exciting stuff. I just don't think I'm going to do these icons on here. I think something more simple is probably what I want to do. Is this the same size? So I don't know if there's probably some people here are a little confused. Oh, you're not even looking at Sketch. That's good. Actually, this is what I wanted. Symbols. Oh, so that's the small one. So I was just systemizing some logos and stuff. So I could probably close this. Yeah. I can quit Font Lab. Sorry, just doing a little cleaning up. So one thing I've struggled with is like determining an image that, if I have a banner, like what do I want that to be? And that's where it's almost like just going textural. So it just throws out a vibe, basically. Let me update. Is this gonna be right? Nope, Sketch is in purgatory. 1 second. Social accounts. Yes. Apparently I have grain in here. I don't know why. I have meta in this document. I could probably delete it all. Yeah, some of the other streams. Why is this not? Sorry, my stream deck's not updating anymore. I updated to a new version of Sketch, and it doesn't want to ever remember. Like, it has a hard time keeping track of Sketch. I don't know why. Really interesting. See if this works. So one of the actions did earlier was the symbols and then original size. So that's buried. Set symbol to original size. So that's like through the keyboard shortcut what I set. And actually, if you guys have any other like obscure shortcuts or actions that are super helpful, I would love to know. At some point, I do want to make the Stream Deck packs available. I'm having, yeah, I have ideas on how to do it. I just want to make sure it's super useful to everyone. And part of what also it leverages is these different plugins. So I don't know, like some of these are pretty obscure. Like reset, like if you look at oh, you can't see it. Fuck. All right, desktop streaming. All right, desktop streaming. So if you have all these, yeah, so with this plugin called Automate, it has all these like deep level functions that aren't really, I don't think they're navigation based things. I think they're like contextual menus. And you can't, as far as I know, you can't set keyboard commands to that, but you can to everything that's in here. So I can create shortcuts to reset overrides, which is something might be interesting to do. Select all instances of a symbol could be interesting. Rename instances. Rid symbols from selected layers. Selection. Yeah, so these are all like deep level functionality that I don't know, probably not the most useful. So then the thinking then is figuring out which ones they are, and then figuring out how it's organized on the board. Like if you're if we have, like, there's different folders, like you have to think about density of the icons. Like you want to be able to scan something. So like the spacing relevancy of like, okay, how do you organize it in folders? Is the folder, are there too many folders? Not enough folders? Do the icons make sense? There's kind of a lot to hash out. So that's why I think I talked about this like almost a year ago. I don't know when I got this thing. It feels like about a year ago. Yeah, still want to make that available. So I'd be curious if anyone's got any application too. I think I'd be interested in hearing about it. So, and yeah, I think what I was started getting into and then got distracted is, I don't know, this edit has been something that's kind of grown on me quite a lot. Just because it's so different, for me at least. I think some people might think this is kind of pedestrian, but for me it's like a very different vibe, and I don't know, one that I'm like trying to push towards. Dribble banners? Oh, dribble banners. Really, that's the size? Huh. If I can get more simple. This. But then it's also like maybe I'm overly systemizing things. So my presence on certain channels doesn't make as much sense. Like I think the Behance banner, I think that probably makes sense to be more kind of photo driven. Let's see, let me go back to Sketcher. Sorry, just checking something real fast. So I think the consistency is kind of nice, but again, LinkedIn maybe doesn't really matter. Twitter, I'm not terribly concerned about Twitter being one way or the other. So I'm mostly just looking for like clean edging with all these images. Sorry, check this out. So we got some drop frames. So I don't know if it's kind of jumpy for anyone, but if it ever is, just let me know. I don't know what I can really do about it, but I can probably adjust some settings, like if my connection on any given day is not really having its best day, I can probably turn down the bitrate a little bit. This Behance banner is just I don't know, just go abstract. Why not? Patreon. I need to be better about the Patreon. I don't know how much value there is in that for people, so I'm kind of tepid about really promoting it or making it high priority. It'd be nice to, you know, offer something in return for some support, as I'm trying to just kind of not work. But also the whole handout idea, like I don't want to do that. X. We'll switch back to desktop streaming. I want to have something done, like something to show for this stream, but I don't want to like, I don't know if it's so boring of me just updating and systemizing things. So again, any sort of input, feedback, love to hear it. Edit profile, I can't see this. Let's do Chrome browsing. That is not, they call Chrome. There we go. Done. So this should be the right image size. I know sometimes they update their images, but it should be the right size. Colors look strange. I know there's an overlay on it, but yeah, why not? What else we got? LinkedIn. I think I saw a question. As a Webflow user yourself, what do you prefer for animations, native or libraries like GSAP or anime.js? It might be obvious from my inability to pronounce those. I don't ever use any of those. For me, I just don't get into any sort of third-party animations. The one I do want to use is Locomotive scroll animations. Like, I really want to find a way to bring some of these in there and test whether or not this is much, like, if this is more performant. I don't know the best way of applying it through Webflow. I can put this in the chat. So if you, I don't know, I feel like Locomotive's pretty well known, but a lot of their interactive sites are heavy on scroll experience. So I think internally they developed a tool to help do some of that, but in doing so, they just decided to make it open source, I guess that's the right word. Posting on GitHub and allowing people to use it. It's very kind of them, and it seems really performant. Like this sort of animation, I mean, my old 2020 site had those. Like each of the section titles would just animate across, and moving things that were that large, it ended up being like 300% of the canvas width. It was not very performant at the end of the day. So I'd be curious if like this could pull something like that off. It's doing exactly that. Do you have any have you messed around with any other libraries? And I'd be curious like how easy it is to implement. Because I'd love to just like, I don't know, bring my site to life a little more. Because even like when I was testing on the stream the other night, I was working on the collaboration page. Like usually on my machine, it's usually fine. On my laptop, it kind of gets a little iffy sometimes. But just loading in like the grid view, like it was just loading in like chunks. Like it kind of is right now. It probably is coming across in the stream. Uh-oh. Not what you like to see. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, it's very broken. But so simple things like right now I just have simple fade-ins, and I think that's underwhelming to me. I had explored like doing like extreme stretching for small little windows. I didn't really like where that was ending up. Um, but yeah, if you have any insights on those libraries and Webflow specifically, that'd be awesome to hear. Um, and I guess, well, I guess that would. I'm assuming you're a Webflow user yourself. Change photo. Upload a photo. Oh, like the naming is not smart. So apparently I don't have the right size even. Did they change? For fuck's sakes. Whatever. Well, no, I don't like any of these crops now. $1128 by $191. Really? Okay. I mean, this looks closer to what's live. Strange that it didn't work. Just trying to get this line to the corner. Oh, you can't see it. Son of a bitch. I really just need to get on board with desktop streaming all the time. It's still be wide somehow? I don't even know. Not the greatest, but good to go. Okay, dated. So that's the problem with this template, is like it keeps changing. Like designs keep changing for whatever reason. Behance. I don't even know if that's even accurate. Uh, 3200 by 410. Hey. Shit crop. Yeah, this one's just tough. I don't really know. Like I was trying to lean on the front dunes because these colors get a little weird and the values get a little strange. I think some of the details of the dune are nice. I mean, this is not bad. I can split that halfway. Yeah, let's do it. Enter. Why not? So they give you the size, but they still let you reposition. Like it's to the pixel the size they asked for, and it's still wrong. Well, native interactions are awesome to a certain extent, but after some time they can get super jittery. So lately I started messing with GSAP. Still learning though. Curious. I'll have to check this out. Um, yeah, because I don't know like how performant Webflow animations are, like where that comes down in the big scheme of things. It's funny, like everything they put out of like their demo sites, their own like webflow.com site, all built in Webflow, as I've come to understand. Some of them do like a lot of animations and they always seem fine. Which means I don't know if it's just me not understanding things or doing it in non-performant ways. Like I never get their site to lag, and I think they're very, very strategic with how they do all their animations. But yeah, I've kind of had a gripe with them, and in the way that they don't really offer any insights into like, hey, you know what? You've got like 12 animating elements in your browser point or like on your canvas right now. Maybe that's not a good idea. Or hey, we don't recommend moving anything that's that large. Plus, like I don't know how you could do an audit. I think that's the problem. Is it's like a very complex thing, and it's not cut and dry. Maybe there's like a console built in where it helps identify where like frames are being dropped in animation. So it's like, hey, this is a red flag. Like this is like, because you can go into what's it called, into like the inspector in Chrome, and you can see the timeline of everything that's happening. So that data is available to like break it down by like which elements are causing problems, and whether they could just like flag stuff that's like problematic and long, and causing significant redraws or anything like that. But they don't, and that's, I don't know. I don't fault them for it. I think that's kind of like a in-depth thing, but at the same time, like they're just they're like giving a toddler a grenade and expecting it to do the right thing, and like I'm not. Like look at my old site, animating blurs everywhere, like, and there was nothing to stop me. If there's no guardrails, I'm gonna go nuts. Like, hey, this is all, we're good. But that's, I don't know. That's my inner designer who just can't help it. Yeah, I mean, these aren't really complex. These are simple image swaps. They used to have some, I don't know where they are, that were like really complex in terms of what they were doing. I feel like they've gotten rid of those. Showcase. Is this an updated interface? Mine doesn't look like that. Mine looks more chunky. Have you messed around with like Lottie animations? I am very curious on like how performant that is, and if that's a better option. But that can't really be applied to a lot of things, at least as far as I understand. But I should probably take their Lottie course. it seems very capable, but yeah, I don't know like file size. I don't know performance. So maybe I'll just sit down, have a beer, and see what's what with this. See if this is a potential solve. Yeah, I just don't know. I don't know enough about development to really like have a strong opinion on what I should do. Besides not animate everything. Because yeah, this shouldn't be, simple phase shouldn't be hard. Killing me that this isn't working properly. Yeah, I don't think I really do have some animated blurs left as like legacy. Probably go away. But I don't think even Locomotive's thing does anything with animating blurs. I think that's just like a big no-no. Yeah. But yeah, I might have to call it right now, actually. I hate to say it. I got a couple banners updated, which is good. But yeah, I think like I'll be back tomorrow. I think I want to have more of like a plan in terms of, well, I want to like probably put the schedule out there a little bit ahead of time so people know. Maybe change the time of doing it, and I think having a more of a purpose would be good. Like I appreciate all the questions today. Like those are great. But in the meantime, I don't know if me bouncing around between like doing my social banner issue or like images is the best way to spend the time. Yeah, I want to get some stuff done, but I also want to help whoever. I can show maybe something that's interesting or valuable. So yeah, I'll figure out a time. Again, I still haven't come up with a schedule design. But what's I can do? Wait a minute. Yeah, I don't know. All my apps are all screwed up. So I'll do my homework, be ready, and I'll have a plan for tomorrow, hopefully. So thank you again to everyone who came through. Kind of an odd stream, but I'll get my shit together tomorrow, and I'll do better. So, all right.